Thank you. Welcome back from that commercial break. We'll take time to listen to what the president Buhari has said at the APC convention yesterday. When we, after listening to him, for the benefit of those of you who NEPA, is it NEPA? Did they allow to hear him? We will listen to the president's speech at the APC convention, and we'll come wrap up and then take on our next discussion.
Folks, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow party members and compatriots, I commend you for your various roles and contributions towards the successful conduct of the various APC primaries across the nation. I commend the party stakeholders, officials, organs, and the Abdullahi Adamu-led National Working Committee. I commend their efforts in organizing party exercises and urge you not to rest on our achievements so far. Now we have a big task ahead. The special convention for the presidential primary. I congratulate all the winners and our newly emerged party flag bearers so far for the 2023 general elections, and urge you to be magnanimous in victory, particularly towards your fellow aspirants who conceded to you. I urge you at all times to abide by the party rules and fellow party reconciliation processes. In every competitive event, there are bound to be winners and runners-up. And as such, all the aspirants who lost or conceded at the primaries, I equally urge you to maintain the spirit of sportsmanship and to stand by our great party for the next challenges ahead. As we go into presidential primary, I urge all to keep to the same spirit. We must avoid acrimony and maintain the spirit of sportsmanship. The critical task ahead of the Abdullahi Adamu-led National Working Committee remains to continue to forge for the unity of purpose among party members and to keep securing needed compromises in the interest of our great party. I enjoin you all to be fair to all and to create a level playing field for all the presidential aspirants in the coming crucial party exercise. Please follow due process in all the party decisions, and I call on all party members, particularly the party officials and the delegates, to abide by all extant laws, rules, and regulations, and to consider voting for the presidential candidate with the best chances of securing victory for our great party in the coming general elections. I cannot overemphasize that the principal challenge before us is the need to keep a united front for the party. It is primarily why the party National Executive Committee has vested its powers in the National Working Committee for the time being, as requested and in compliance with the party constitution, to ensure smooth party administration and operations in these critical times in the overall interest of the party. Once again, Mr. Chairman, I want to assure you and the entire National Working Committee members of my support. Please do not hesitate to call on me and all other appropriate quarters for the help that will propel our great party to the victory that we all seek. To ensure a hitch-free presidential primary, please let us work collectively in the interest of our great party and our great country. Fellow delegates, fellow men, women, youth, citizens of our country. Many people have short memories, but let us remember the situation we inherited. A nearly dead economy, in spite of oil being over $100 per barrel for many years. Vast areas of our country under insurgent control. Salaries, wages, pensions, unpaid for months in many states. Problems were left unattended or ignored. Infrastructure left to decay. Internationally, we were despised. Your APC government has changed all that. Our response to any new challenges, whether banditry, kidnapping, insurgency, has been prompt and head-on. Rehabilitation of infrastructure has taken place on a massive scale. Our response to coronavirus is second to none in Africa. We have made substantial progress in governance, in implementing reforms, in democratic processes, and in social care. We are now respected in Africa and across the world. These major achievements by APC are historic and far-reaching. We now have to choose a leadership, not just to win elections next year, but to continue and improve on these landmarks. We must choose a knowledgeable, fair-minded nationalist with a very strong belief in the unity of our nation, Nigeria, and strength of character and purpose to steer the country forward. We should not allow the PDP to drag the country backwards. I thank you. May God bless our party. May God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed listening to our president. He spoke out his mind, talking to Nigerians, talking to delegates yesterday night at the APC convention. So, Jonathan, as we round up this segment, what do you think, whoever emerges as the leader, as the standard bearer of APC, what do you think he should make top priority in the event that he wins the presidential election next year?
Well, if he wins the presidential election next year, security is key to sustaining a peaceful society. Justice is key to having a peaceful society. Anyone who emerges winner of 2023 presidential election must understand that Nigerians at this point is looking at security, food security. And then, to achieve this, we must understand that it is time for us to imbibe a nation building that can guarantee peace and sustainable peace. At least sustainable peace. If we have a government that can guarantee you security and peace, the country will flourish. What we have today is because the country is not united. So any president we are going to have should see a way of uniting the Nigerian state. We are too divided on religious sentiment. We are too divided because of ethnicity and all of that. So if we have a government that can come up with inclusion, then that should be a headway that we can have a government that can stay, last the test of time. So I'm going to say this categorically that, for me, when we have a president that can look into the security architecture, the overbearing centralized security architecture, and can decentralize it to having a community policing to solve some of the numerous challenges of insecurity in the country. And then number two, to avoid the show of pyramids, whereas there's nothing in store for Nigerians to eat. Like the vice president spoke yesterday on the primary, on convention ground, said that we should look at a possible means to produce what we consume, and he has all the diaries, or have all the diagrams on how to come about those things. So if we have a president who have a foresight on how to build on our domestic growth, and then on how to build on our exportation rather than the importation, then, and the government who can understand that borrowing is going as sorrowing.
Let's be hypothetical here. If the vice president clinches the ticket of APC, will you advise him to continue in the stead of Buhari, or he should change?
Oh, well, his appointees will be different from that of his current principal. And then, you see, his appointees may also be a reason for his growth or a reason for his downfall. So I would not expect the current technocrat, so-called, that has failed us. I will expect that he cannot continue with the appointees that are currently in government. Talking about service chiefs, talking about, all the other ministers in different fields that are supposed to be producing rather than, extorting us and all of that. So I expect him to look at credible people and change the cabinet that can last the test of time, and so that Nigerians can begin to feel the impact of the change that needed to be changed. Because at this point, Nigerians are looking for the change that needed to be changed, so that he can now look at it and say, okay, I have made at least the necessary change that will require a change. So we need a change. So let him come there, make the changes that can affect the Nigerian people positively. That is what I'm looking at it.
Okay, let me put you on the spot for 1 minute. Who do you think Atiku Abubakar will be afraid of meeting in APC among all the over 20 aspirants? Who do you think will give Atiku Abubakar's team, campaign team, headache. Yeah, hey, this one, we have to redouble our effort. And who do you think? Oh, it's our customer. You know, because the contest is stricto sensu between APC and PDP, not discountenancing Labour Party now with Peter Obi, because that seems like a third force now. But who do you think? Let's start from Atiku Abubakar's campaign organization. Who do you think that if he emerges, the standard bearer of APC will give them, will make them to lose their sleep?
Well, a whole lot of advantage and a whole lot of disadvantage. Well, it depends on who, whoever emerged from the APC, ongoing APC primaries, pick from the north or from the south. Hypothetically, if the vice president emerged winner today, and he picks a strong candidate from the north, of course, that also will divide the vote
of the north.
And then also, don't forget that Peter Obi is still there. That whatever happens at the south, at the southern level too, remember that, like I said, if the vice president emerged the winner, he has also some contemporaries, because then the southern governors will come and said Peter Obi will come. South is precisely, we have to vote for Peter Obi. Some actually will vote for Peter Obi, and some that are still maintaining the APC state and all of that, they still want to deliver the state to their party. So you see that, and the culture of the Southeast governors most times is different from
Jonathan, make a prediction. Who do you think will give Atiku a bloody nose that if he emerges? I just mention one name, unless you don't want to mention.
No, the truth is that I have mentioned the advantage and disadvantage. That even as it is now, Atiku, if we even pick, this is a ruling party, you know.
Yeah.
If they even pick, what's his name? For instance, Jack Rich now. Jack Rich, let me just mention you. If Jack Rich emerges the winner today, this is a ruling party. If they can be able to maintain the internal, democracy, and then stabilize their different, stabilize the party and then resolve their differences, Atiku will still be moved, because don't forget, this is a ruling party.
Okay.
And is not willing to give power to anybody.
Okay, let's spend the next few minutes we have on this show to talk about the Owo massacre of last Sunday. As a security expert, are you worried? We have had this similar shooting in Madala on Christmas Day, 2010. We've had this happen in Ozobulu in Anambra State, also mass shooting in the church. We've now had it in Owo. First and foremost, what do you think may have prompted the unknown gunmen to swoop on a church and fire? As of this morning, the newspaper reported that 38, at least the Catholic bishop for Ward Houses confirmed 38 by the church, but that so many other people took away their own corpses. So, what, as a security expert, what do you think was responsible for that massacre in the first place?
Well, you see, terrorism has come to be in the country not today. It is negligence of people in authority that has make it to linger. And then, what you asked me, what even brought the case of terrorism into play, if I understand you very well? What makes it to start even happening and all of that? Yes. Some of those things that makes it to begin to happen, like I've mentioned here rightly today, is injustice. Unemployment, poverty, illiteracy, then corruption, systemic and political corruption. These are the things that brought some of those things. Marginalization. These are the things that brought insecurity into the country. I will start from the case of unemployment. And like I've always said, if you go to Iceland, the rate of crime we have in fact 0% in Iceland. And why is this so? Because the government recognized that the tool to reduce to the barest minimum crime is engaging the people, especially the youth, engaging them. And engaging them means that you are abusing their mindset. But that is not to forget that when we say the society is failing, and let me say it on your show today, Mr. Jide, that when the society is failing, the family trees has failed. The family trees is where you and I come from. Every terrorist came from a home. So when we said they have failed as a society, then we should equally go back, retrace our step backward and said, what happened to the family trees? The government cannot take liability alone because each terrorist, each leader came from a home. So when the family fails, it is a product of what the family failures came with that the society today is lamenting.
Okay, we've heard that, and you have rightly dissected the push factors for a war massacre of last Sunday. What, as a security expert, what do you think was responsible as the immediate causes that could? Is it that somebody in that church offended them? It's not the only church in Owo or in Ondo State. Why did they choose? I'm just asking you as a security expert, is it because the church is by the roadside? Or is it that maybe the Reverend Father has been preaching certain sermon that doesn't go down well with whoever they are? Or is it that it's just a chance? They just felt, oh, these people here, let's deal with them.
Okay, you have rightly mentioned one of the causes. Sometime last month, the rumor of attack on Bishop Kuka's church came up. But sometime last month or so, the bomb blast somewhere in a school in Kano State came up.
Yes.
Some of these happenings, you begin to wonder, where are the security agencies? Where are the DSS? Where are the NIA? What happened to our local intelligence, both domestic and all of that? You see, what, like I said, you rightly mentioned one is that the church became a target long time ago. The church became a target long time ago. And they wanted to send a signal to the other side that we are ready. The agenda of Islamatization has been, and Nigerians have come to realize that somehow, it's somehow becoming reality. Not necessarily the government, because when we talk about Islamization, it's as if it is a current government. No! We are talking about subversive intelligence. That could be that.
But wait, because we don't have the luxury of time to spend on this issue. These terrorists have also been striking in mosques and in other religious centers. In fact, in Kogi State, in Okene area, there was a masquerade festival that was going on, and some people got killed last week before the Owo incident happened. Are you sure it's about an Islamist agenda or Islamization agenda of this terrorist group?
I wouldn't want to say that we should divide ourselves by way of because when we talk about Islamization, talking about the Christian and the Muslim, some of them favor, but I'm not talking about the current Nigerian Muslim. I'm talking about the hostile intelligence controlling some of the state and the religious body. You see, sometime in I'm going to draw you back to just the recent one in the imam at the Apo National Mosque, Apo Mosque. I think it is Apo Mosque or the Gudu somewhere Mosque that mentions certain things about the president. What happened? It was removed. Are you not aware?
Yeah, the cleric that spoke.
So if
and
you
it was
speak
was
against certain
sacked.
agendas, then you'll be pinpointed for attack. You'll be pinpointed for attack. So it's not just like it is attacking mosques or attacking churches. But we have often decided to give a blind eye to those realities and then try to paint the image on the media just to see me that my Muslim friend will respect me and then my Christian friend will do this and that. But you will still come here tomorrow when the next incident happens for us to come and analyze.
No. What the Owo massacre has happened. Is there anything the church can do to protect itself?
Yes.
What measures do you or will you prescribe for church to put in place to secure its adherents and worshippers?
Now I'm going to say this: the church or the churches, the mosque, they have something to do to protect themselves. And equally, let me extend it to the schools, because I have sent letters to so many schools authorities to see reasons why security has to be put in place. There are no technologies in church to detect bombs. There are no presence of Nigerian DSX, Department of State Security Service, to detect whoever comes in or whatever comes in. Some of the packet Bibles you carry or some of the pack of Bibles you see today, there are guns inside. There are also sophisticated bombs that can be built in that nature. And then you say written Holy Bible or Quran, Holy Quran. So the churches don't have the technologies put in place to checkmate those things. So it is time for them to apply. All churches need to seek for security coverage at this point, and also to build security measures around the churches. Even though you are worshiping God, you should first see a way to put measures in the places of people coming to worship than leaving the whole thing for God to handle.
Is it also advisable for churches to continue to hold vigils now?
Well, I don't expect churches to hold vigils late night. Vigils can equally be held at day.
With vigil in night prayer sessions. I'm just looking. Do you also think maybe some big churches need to have bomb detectors? Because three IEDs were recovered from our church. IEDs that have not exploded, which means those who came to attack were very deliberate. They were very deliberate. It's not like a casual thing. No. It's not like they were walking by. They planned it and they targeted the time that they would strike. So, so you think churches need to have a bomb detector, maybe these scanning machines and all of that now?
You see, the church needs to be well prepared. And in preparation, because churches cannot tell us they don't have money, but they have money to buy cars, they have money to do all they want to do for themselves. So it is time for them to protect the lives of worshippers. Because even God himself will ask them, the lives of those that are under you, what have you done? So I think the churches equally need to seek the effort of government, both local, state, to make sure that they have something to protect the church.
Okay, on a final note, this is not about church alone, it's about general security. I know you've said some things about the need to take premium attention for security for incoming administration. But between now and now, then the campaigns will start. What, as a security expert, what advice have you gotten for the politicians who will be going, organizing rallies, and doing a lot of traveling on our road? What do you think they need to do as we wind up?
I want to say that for all the presidential aspirants from different parties, they must avoid and stop patronizing gangsterism, thuggery, because the people you use today are the problems of tomorrow created for the country. When you abandon them, they have no other option than to pick arms to help themselves. So if we have no people patronizing them, they will not have so much of thuggeries and all of that. So I expect the presidential aspirants of different parties to rather preach peace and then imbibe in a culture of moral discipline to make sure that they don't go outside the context of the rule of law to ensure that they get into power. Because don't forget, the people you use to get into power were the same people to frustrate you out of power.
Thank you very much, Jonathan Isaac Onoja, security expert, public affairs analyst. He has said so much on issues of security. As you go into the campaign session or season in the coming weeks, let's play safe. If you are going to be attending political rallies, please be security conscious. And then if you are a candidate of a party, build some walls of security around yourself so that you don't become a prime target of kidnappers and all the other undesirable elements. That will be the size of our show this morning. I want to thank you, Jonathan, for coming on the show.
Pleasure.
Your first time with me here. I know you are a friend of the house. Thank you very much for doing this with me today. And we pray that whoever emerges APC candidates will do the best in the coming elections, general elections. We do not know if he will be the successor to the president, but we wish him well. We congratulate him in advance. So if you've enjoyed today's edition, please stay tuned. Next week, next Wednesday, we'll bring a fresh edition to your viewing pleasure. Have a great day. Stay safe and stay blessed.